Hey guys, welcome back to Young Americans Abroad. My name is Austin, and welcome to our show. Well guys, international break is over and we're finally back to club play. And unfortunately it wasn't the best weekend this week, so we've chosen today to not do our weekly report, and instead we're going to be looking ahead to the next USMNT window and trying to figure out what 5 Fringe players make the most sense to be called up in October. So a little bit different show today than what you're normally used to, but we're going to have a lot of fun, and we think we have 5 players that will really resonate with you guys, and we think we can make a great case for being on this World Cup qualifying roster for October. So without further ado, let's get into the show today. So to start off the video today, we have Chris Richards, and I really think Chris Richards wasn't called up in September solely due to his transfer situation. So obviously we now know that Chris Richards moved on loan to Hoffenheim, where he spent last spring, and just started their most recent Bundesliga game for him. So he's really in a good position now. It was a great move. I really am on board with it. I think it's a high-level Bundesliga team, mid to high level, and a place where he's really going to get a lot of minutes this season and continue to grow and excel and, prove his worth to Bayern. So now that that's sorted, I really think he needs to be into this October roster for World Cup qualifying. And we saw this past September that, John Brooks struggled, right? This wasn't his best camp by any means. He is a very quality defender, but he's not someone who really showed out well in September. So I think for that reason, we need some other options. I think Chris Richards is a high-quality center back, or at least will be, and is someone that should be challenging right now for a starting position in our first-team lineup. And I just think he offers so many different qualities than any of the other center backs we have right now. When you look at him, he's someone who is a great passer of the ball. He's really someone who's not afraid to advance possession up the field, is also a really good one-on-one defender, is also versatile, can play right back and even, left back in a pinch. So I really think he's got some great qualities that, over time are going to cement him as our starting, first choice center back. And I just think a lot of those qualities pair really well with Miles Robinson as well. Both are good one-on-one defenders. Miles Robinson's clearly more defender than someone who likes to play with the ball at his feet or likes to play in possession. So I think if he lets Chris Richards kind of do that and orchestrate some of the play from the back, then I think they could create a really powerful duo, that would help us kind of lock down teams and also, take advantage of situations where we have numbers up the field, and then also lock down when teams get on the counter and kind of try and press us on the break. So, I think Chris Richards is definitely the main. If I had to pick one player from the 5 we're going to talk about today, I think Chris Richards is definitely, the most important player that wasn't called up in September that needs to be called up in October. So at number 2, we have Yunus Musah. And Yunus' situation was a little bit similar to Chris Richards in that, there was extenuating circumstances as to why he wasn't in the camp last month. Yunus' situation was that he was injured, and he actually just came back right before the camp started to Valencia's training. So, he really wasn't fully match fit. There was a good chance that he probably wasn't going to be able to play in that first game, and then obviously maybe the second game too. So, again, it's a player that obviously has a future with us, someone that, we know Gregg Berhalter believes in. So leaving him at home, for September, I wasn't opposed to it. I didn't think it was a horrible decision. But I do think in October, now that he's fully fit, now that he's back on the pitch for Valencia, just played in their recent game, he needs to be in this camp. And again, it's all about the future, right? So right now he's not cap tied to the USMNT, so I think that's something we need to do in this calendar year. And also, again, with that lack of depth in midfield, we only called up 5 midfielders last September. And then obviously with Weston going home again, there was some openings in that midfield where I think Yunus could have been a really good asset for us. We don't have many midfielders who really do a good job of controlling the ball close to their body, shielding off, defenders when they try and tackle him. That's something he's really strong at. And you saw a lot of that happening, in El Salvador. We had certain players, giving the ball away in easy situations. You saw even in the Honduras game when they pressed us really well in the first half, A lot of our players looked uncomfortable in certain situations where players were, draped all over him. And I think Yunus really thrives in those situations. He actually is a pretty creative player, right? In close control and close situations, he's able to really kind of figure his way out of them and then advance the ball up the field and make things happen going forward. So I really think he'd be a great option in this camp. Obviously, we need to get him committed to us long term. I know he said that he is committed, but we need to, just like with Ricardo Pepi, right? Get him on the field, get him cap tied, and let the future write itself, so to speak. So yeah, I really think he's a good option for us, and someone that Gregg Berhalter should definitely call up for this October camp. Moving on to number 3, we have the player of the Gold Cup, in my opinion, and that's Matt Hoppe. So Matt did, a really phenomenal job for us this summer. I really liked what he provided to this team, not only on the pitch, but also off the pitch too. Just a really good energy and presence, someone who's always looking to press, always looking to, push when he's on the field. It always looks like he's never truly, rattled. No situation is too big for him. So, for that reason, I really want to see him integrated into this first choice USMNT. I think he's got a lot of qualities that really fit what this team is all about, right? He's someone, again, that, makes good runs, can control the ball in tight situations, and is not afraid to, be in those positions, right? He's really good at getting into the final third and getting into dangerous areas. Somewhat similar to Brendan Aronson, obviously in a little bit different of a manner, but he's someone who really just, isn't afraid and just likes, taking on players and making, defenders sit back on their back foot, and likes running at defenders. What else can I say? So, I think he'd be a great addition to this team. Obviously, again, with Gio Reyna potentially missing this October camp, or, not being healthy maybe for that first game. Paired that with Tim Weah, still injured. We don't really know what his future holds for this, October roster. Christian Pulisic's still out. I think he's, a no doubt call up in my opinion. His move right now, again, somewhat similar to the first 2 players on our list, or at least Chris Richards. It sounded like his move from Schalke was what kind of held him out of that September camp. Now that that's finalized, he's at Mallorca. Has yet to make his debut, but hopefully that happens this weekend. I think, again, he's a no-brainer for this roster. He really, help us provide some more creativity in that final third. I think that's something he, is sneaky good at, and something that, we're definitely lacking right now. Right in that game against Canada, we didn't have nearly enough creativity in the final third. And I think Matt Hoppe can definitely provide, a little something that we may not have seen from other players that we've called up. So definitely got to call up Matt Hoppe, and can't wait to see him in camp. So the 4th player we want to call up, and this one might rattle some feathers, so be ready for it. That's Julian Green. So I know Julian Green, splits the fan base, so to speak, on some levels, and I do think that it's good to see him back in the Bundesliga, right? It's great that he was at Bayern, went down to the 2 Bundesliga, really toiled away, worked at his craft, and helped Greuther Fürth get promoted last year. But with that being said, I don't think he's necessarily a top level Bundesliga player, right? I don't think that's a very controversial thing to say, a controversial opinion. So with that being said, I do want to take some of this maybe with a grain of salt. But I do think he could provide us with something that we were missing in this last camp in September. Again, with McKinney going away for his personal reasons, we were left thin at midfield, and we were really left thin in the attacking sense of our midfield. Kellen Acosta was paired with Tyler Adams, which I really like what Kellen Acosta brings to the pitch, but I do think it's very similar to what Tyler Adams brings. And I think at times against some of these teams where we're going to be on the front foot for the better part of the game, 70 plus minutes, we're going to have possession. We don't really need someone like Kellen Acosta on the field with Tyler Adams. And I think that someone with a little bit more creativity, someone with a little bit more experience, right? Because Julian Green is now 26 years old, was our most recent World Cup scorer, and is someone like DeAndre Yedlin and John Brooks that were on that World Cup roster in 2014. also plays in the Bundesliga now. I think it would be good to have some more experience on this team. And yeah, I think for those reasons, he could be a good fit in this October camp. Again, we lacked that creativity in the final third. We lacked players who really, really wanted to just take their chance and go score for us. And Julian Green is all about shooting, from distance. That's something he likes to do frequently. If you watch any of the Firth games, he's constantly shooting from distance. Not all of them great shots, but from time to time they go in, and he looks like the hero. So yeah, I think if we could find a way to kind of get him in this camp, I'm guessing we're going to call up 26 players again. So if he doesn't end up playing in these games, then let's at least get him in a camp and kind of see what he can do. Because again, I think our midfield is a little thin right now, and I think we really should search a little bit more for some creative players. And I think Julian Green fits the bill in that sense. And again, he's obviously not by far and away, a top Bundesliga player. But I do think, we've seen in the past against France, scoring that crucial goal right before they went on and won the World Cup. I think in that game he showed out very well, and other, USMNT games. So, yeah, that's kind of me getting up on my soapbox. But, yeah, with that, I think we're going to move on to player number 5. For our 5th and final player today, we have Reggie Cannon. And Reggie Cannon's situation is quite interesting at the moment, and I wish I had more clarity on it, but I can only really speculate from what I've heard, what I've seen, based on some cryptic things he posted on Instagram. But really, he hasn't played at Boa Vista so far this season. We didn't see him go on loan this summer. There was some rumors that he was linked to some Serie A clubs, whether that was a permanent transfer or a loan for the season, and nothing really materialized. So my personal guess on what's going on is that he's involved in some sort of contract dispute or legal dispute with his club Boa Vista. That's kind of what is holding him back from playing in some club games so far this season. So I really don't know what that's going to do for his international career this fall, or if that's going to hold him out of this October camp. But if that's not the case, then I really want to see him in this October camp, and I really think he's deserving of it too. Right? He won 2 trophies with us this summer, was a part of the Nations League, was also a part of the Gold Cup, in August and July, and really had a strong summer in my opinion. And I really think you saw with Serginho Dest going down against Canada, DeAndre Yedlin coming in playing fairly well. I think he was definitely at fault for the one goal there. Against I think it was against Canada. That was the goal where he got burned, and that happened. I really think that Reggie Cannon's just a safer option at right back for us, right? We really need players getting forward against some of these teams that are going to sit 10 or 11 people behind the ball. But I really think that Reggie Cannon will provide us with that stability that we need. And then also provides us with, a suitable attack going forward, right? Reggie Cannon doesn't, score goals. He doesn't provide too many assists, but he is someone that can get forward, use that pace to kind of get in and behind defenses and kind of stretch them down the field and open up several, running and passing lanes for other players off that right flank. So I really think he's a capable player in comparison to DeAndre Yedlin and what he provides, and I just think he's a much better defender. So for those reasons, I really think he should be in this next camp. If his club situation is, like I said, right now a legal battle, things like that, then it would really be good to just get him game time in these international windows and kind of get him that exposure that he needs to hopefully get out of that situation there and in Portugal. And also just keep him fresh, right? He's a player that we know so far. We know he's a known commodity, what he can provide to our team. Not to mention off-field presence, right? Such a great high character, high energy guy. So it really just, he's someone I want to see back involved with this camp. And, hopefully things work out for his club situation going forward. So that's all for this video today, guys. Make sure you like this video and subscribe below if you liked what you heard. Also follow us on social media. You know, we have Instagram, Twitter. We also have TikTok out there that we've been kind of neglecting recently, so don't hold it against us. And then we also have our merch store that we launched earlier this summer. So go check out the link down below. Definitely, you know, some cool things up there for, you know, all USMNT fans, all Young Americans Abroad fans. And yeah, it's you know, a fun time. Obviously, not the best international window, but we ended on a high. We found Ricardo Pepi, so hopefully he's our starting striker going forward. I think that would make me very happy, and hopefully he continues to score goals in MLS too, and we see him move abroad this winter. That would be a lot of fun. So with that being said, guys, there's only one way to end this show, and that is one day we will win the World Cup.